Oh, you want me to say something? What's up? I'll talk on this one, I guess. Know what, dude? I'm just busy doing something. Discard. Sorry, I had a really rough day today. Really rough today. I should hydrate. Yeah, it's like my new hat that I got. And a new shirt too. I don't know why it's so big. Big ass snapback, bro. My job hooked it up. Like, I didn't know they had drip like that. Like, look at this. Like, even though it's kind of like, it's kind of weird, but it's like drippy though. Like, I didn't expect like the uniform to be dripped out. Like, look at it. Like, it doesn't even look like a uniform, to be honest. If it didn't have the weird, like, what does this say? Nah, bro, it looked like. Like, it looks so weird for a uniform. Yeah, weird clothes are underrated a little bit. Me, I used to not like work uniforms, but I like wearing work clothes now. Like, this is a work shirt under here, and I like wearing my my quick check hat. It's like my favorite hat right here. Now I got this one too. Didn't know you were making a game engine. I'm making several. That's why I haven't showed anything so far, because I'm working on a 3D one, multiple 2D ones I have that I made that are I want to make a bunch of different 2D Sonic engines so people could learn from them, like how the game actually works, how he runs up slopes and everything. So I want to figure it out myself first. So I pretty much made a bunch of different ones so I could learn better how it actually works. I want to make a tutorial one day, but I honestly barely know how to make it myself, so it's hard. Newer games are they're easy. They're not complicated. It's because they use modern IDEs. Like, a game would use Unity or Unreal Engine, right? Some developers, they make their own engine, and it's this advanced system, makes everything easier. It's not like they're making the collisions from scratch and coding the SAT collision algorithm. They're not doing all of that from scratch. They're just plopping it into Unity, setting it up, putting a rigid body. They're not coding the rigid body by itself. They're not recreating everything. So they're just putting things together. They might buy some code from somebody, or they would take somebody else's code. not to say that these new games aren't complicated. They get pretty complicated, you know. Like I was seeing the new Gears of War game. The graphics are what's getting complicated. It's the graphics. People are just putting really, it's all like high polygons now. The gameplay hasn't changed much. You know, anybody can make the gameplay to these games fairly easily, except that unless it's like you know, something like Red Dead Redemption 2 or one of um the Metal Gear Solid games, you know, when they're walking on the terrain, their feet kind of mesh with the terrain, so it looks realistic. That's kind of complicated. You could, need some IK kinematics on the the rig to make the feet kind of bend to things, and it can get pretty complicated there. But it's still, you know, just array cast, you know, simple programming still. Yeah, but you know, nowadays there's terrain builders, there's all these programs that make this stuff easy to do. You know, it's not like, you know, like when they made Sonic 2 on the Sega Genesis, those people had to be like smart to do that, to make it run, right? Because you could program something, but is it gonna run on like this little plastic thingy? Like they had to optimize that game like you wouldn't believe. They had to do like, and I think Sonic 2 and 1 is hex code. It's like 00F1, like it's all this like weird stuff. I bet, you know, I never looked into it. I bet I could program on the Sega Genesis if I tried to learn it. I just didn't bother learning that. I just went for like C sharp, C plus plus, just went straight to, you know, Java and all that. I didn't bother going back in time, like, oh, let me try to go do some hex code. No point. No, definitely back then the programmer, people say it all the time too. If you read about it, those programmers are way smarter than programmers today. All the you know, basically these programming languages, C plus, C sharp, these are designed for people to understand it better, right? It's more like English. You know, you have words in it like functions and array, like words you can understand, as opposed to, you know, in the beginning, right? It's all like 011 hex code, 01H hashtag, like you're not under, if you look at the like the Sonic 2 code, you'd barely understand it. It's like you're looking at just numbers, and it's like, so I didn't even bother. I'm like, I'm not learning all this like numbers stuff. Like, you know, if you want to program nowadays, it's easy. It's anyone can do it. I feel like. Plus, there's so much code on the internet you could just take from people. That's what I do. Yeah. Well, I code my own stuff now because I got good at it. But when I started, I used to take everybody's code. And I just, you know, take Sean Spalding's code. He has really good code. Pretty much anybody on Reddit has some good code. Mm, yeah, exactly. They had no dev tools, nothing, just from scratch, right? Some of them had to invent things. Like, you know how hard it is to make your own thing, you know? Like, nowadays, I can make a first person shooter in a couple hours. You know, back then that was literally impossible. Well, not impossible. You're not gonna go make like a basic Call of Duty engine in a few hours back then. You're not, you have nothing to work with. It's not like you got Unity that you could just open up Unity real quick and throw in a rigid body in a few seconds. No, no, a lot of things are drag and drop now. I'm being very patient. I'm not really working hard on making games right now because it's only gonna get better, right? In the future, I can just open up Unreal Engine, just drag the player in, boom, done. Somebody already made perfect collision code, done, boom, pop it in. It's already like that, but it's still like you kind of have to set it up still. But as it goes on, someone's gonna come out with some new engine that's just like plop it in, boom, boom. Somebody already made a Sonic template. You can already there's a guy making something called Sonic Studios, my friend the Lapper. He's making a thing and you just it's like Mario Makers, just make the Sonic levels, boom. Right? If he makes that engine available, right? And he's probably just gonna release the game itself, the Sonic Studio, but if he actually released the engine because it's made in Game Maker. So if he released the Game Maker engine, someone could just open that up and they got all the perfect collisions and it's easy, right? You just make a Sonic game from that. Hopefully, eventually he releases it. When he's done with it, and if he does make his money off it, he just doesn't care anymore. He's like, I'm just gonna release the engine itself. Then you don't really gotta do nothing other than make your own art and stuff. Which now there's AI art generators which suck right now, right? Everybody's hating on the AI art right now. But give it a few years when that AI art ain't playing no more and it can do perfect pixel art, which there's already some that you could pay for that pretty much dang do perfect pixel art right now. You can just edit the pixels, make it look perfect. There's a thing on the internet that's a it even if you make the AI pixel art and it looks kind of messed up, like the pixels are a little wonky, you could just throw it into a program and it pixelates it for you. Boom, done, right? And then you're gonna have the AI animations, and you don't even gotta animate anymore, really, unless you want to, because right now the AI sucks. It looks terrible. The animations they're good, but they're not really that great right now. But you could go ahead and make your own AI system that does, like, say you're making a game and the animations are a very specific way. It's a style of animation, right? You can program your own AI to only do that style of animating, and it'll just pump it out for you, and you can work from there. You don't got to do all that extra legwork. No, I personally don't like animating. It's not fun for me. I don't like to draw the same thing over and over again. Really, I hate drawing one thing as it is. I'm very impatient, so I'm not good with animating. You gotta be very patient. That's my weak point is animating. I can't sit there and just animate. You know what I mean? Oh no, not only repetitive, it gets frustrating because even if you sit there for hours and animate something, it could still look like poop. Like you still gotta go back and fix it up, and to make a good animation, right? You gotta sit there, edit it over, you gotta do it over and over and over again, right? I seen people, they go back frames, start moving stuff, making it look nice, then they go over it again, then they color it again. that's the thing I hate doing, right? But that's what separates a good animator from a bad one. Someone that could just sit there and just go to town on it. You know what I mean? If you can get an animator like that to work with you, don't let him go, cause he ain't playing, bro. If he's sitting there for hours animating something for you, better not let him go. You know? Yeah, exactly. You'll be prepared to be sitting there for a couple days, because even if you put hours in, it's still gonna look like it's not gonna look that great, you know. And that's when I sit there and I'm like, because that's happened to me before. I've sat for hours animating something and I'm like, wow, it looks terrible. Like, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because once it's at that stage where it's already animated and it looks whatever, that's when you can go back and finalize it. That's when you can just start moving stuff. That's when you're halfway there, and then you finalize it, and then it looks good. Then you're done. So yeah, it's not just, oh, let me sit there and animate. Only if you're good, right? If you have practice, the easier it is, right? You need a real experience to do that. It's the same thing with programming and anything, right? You know, I can code for hours, right, and just get into a flow state, really. And just, I'm not. Little friends. Like last night, I pretty much made a really good physics engine for Sonic, right? But the problem with it, which is why I don't make them really simple, because the one I made is optimized. This one is not optimized. It is using object collisions, and it runs really slow. I had to put it on like I think 120 FPS just for it to be like somewhat workable, but it does a lot of collision checks. It's very intensive. I wouldn't use this one if you're making a big game. I'd only use this physics engine. Like, I'm gonna give you guys a simple Sonic physics engine to work with. Right here, let me show you. I would only use this for small games, because this you see, this is very intensive. It gets the exact angle of any slope you're on, right? It has the Sonic physics on it already, so it's like he slides down, right? I'm gonna give you guys this, but this one, right, there's an issue that I'm going to fix right here. When you get at the corner, since it's the exact angle, it kind of slows down. This case scenario, what you want is a third or another raycast system that replaces this, and basically need to bake these angles when it's tiles like this. You want to bake the angle as 45 degrees and this tile as 0 degrees. Right now, you don't want to see the angle variable right there. You don't want it to go in between from like 45 to 26 to 14 to 0, because that slows him down a lot, right? You want it to go just like 45, and then just instantly to 0, so you can work on this, because this angle detector is meant for the for smooth, very smooth ramps and stuff. Yeah. And this engine is, I don't know why, but it's not running very well at 60 FPS. I had to bump it up to 120, double the FPS, because he was just, I don't know, he was moving really slow. I don't know if it's because I didn't set up the animations yet. I don't know, like, if I just am looking at it weird, but it works really good. It's workable for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna give you guys this once I'm done. I'm gonna set it up and then add a little layer system. Because one thing I noticed is in the when you try to look up how to make a Sonic game, there's not much available. Not a lot of people share how to do it. You have to pretty much figure it out by yourself. And I wanted to change that a little bit. Like, I want someone to be able to just, grab a simple thing and just, I want to see what people can do. I want more people to make their own things. You don't have to credit me either. I don't care. About credit. You don't have to credit me in the engine and stuff. I know some people don't want to, ruin their game with somebody else's name on it. And like, yeah, you know what I mean? I can care less if it's my engine or not. But yeah, if you do use my Sonic engine, I would love if you tagged me in like a post or something. Be like, oh yeah, hey, look what I made with your engine. I would like that, but you don't have to put it in the actual game itself. I wouldn't care. Yeah, I need to find if these Sonic sprites are like somebody separated all these, because I just had to like fix all the frames, which I don't know if it's on DeviantArt, all the animations. I gotta go check that out. Either way, it don't matter. Sprite walk. Where's that thing that caps the angles that I had? Had it somewhere. In the mode snapped angle equals angle. Snap angle. I call it rotation, but snap angle is fine. I hate long worded variables. People always do that. The one thing when you're programming something, stop with all those really long variables. It just takes too much space. I see these people's code. Their variable name is collision check RB tile set 5 to like, oh my god, just call it CR5 or whatever it's like. You don't need your variables to be long. All you need to do is just comment your code, what it does. Just leave a little description. All right, this script does this, and I'll get it. I hate the long variables. It's so stupid. It's like, come on, bro. It makes it like harder to read. It's like I'm looking at a paragraph of code when it could just be like this much code, or a simple line. It's like all these like lines like this big, right? It could be this big. And these people, they indent everything. They'll have the first line of code, then they'll tab it, have it indented, and then indent it again. And it's like it's all horizontal. I hate that. I'm like, oh my god, just make it like this. Oh my god. People don't like how I do it. Like they're like, "Whoa, your code is a mess." I'm like, yeah, right, bro. Your code's a mess. Yeah, see you, buddy. Where's the collision? Draw sprite run angle. Oh, that's the one thing that gets on my nerves is people's code structure. It's like, dude. And people don't understand anything about player states. They have this state system that's just where is the move? Where's the animation, right? Just run anim. Okay. Timer. Guess it's good, right? Like for example, right? This is what I'm talking about. This is a run script, right? And you see have run anim. It's nice and short, just H speed, just key right, key left, H speed, angle. Everything's just a square. Nothing is like indented too much. You know, I'll indent like here and there. Well, this I didn't even fix it, but I have everything just straight right to the point. It's all condensed. People be like this. Like, let me tab this all the way here, and then tab all this like that. I'm like, oh my god. Drives me nuts. Yo, monster. And stop putting the first letter in your variable as capital. It's first letter is lowercase, second word is the capital letter. Please stop. Stop naming all of your assets with capital letters. Or, oh my god. No idea. And stop making 100 objects for something that could just be in a script. See these people's engines. It's just like a detection script, but it has 20 objects that make it work, and all these objects do nothing, and then they put it in a folder, and it's just a bunch of empty objects, and they do nothing. And it's just like they're using it to make this script run, when you could just use a little a dot or something that you could draw on screen. You don't have to do that. Or you can just make it a number instead of an object. It could literally be the number 1 or a letter instead of an object. Just call it A in a script. Like, I don't understand people's their logic with it. Okay, I need to make a system anyway, so we're gonna do the enum player state. Key X as well. I suppose I just copy that. I gotta work on, as much as I hate Game Maker Studio 2, they did fix a lot of things that are very annoying. They ruined the sprite editor though. Idle, run, jump, player state, idle, timer, idle. Should I even add that for now? I don't feel like doing that, so I'm just gonna do walk anim. No, don't put that in the state ones. Player state sprite idle. Why does it say sprite idle? I don't understand. It's weird. Why did I do that? Sub equals idle anim. Must be for something else. Walk anim, jump anim. Don't even need all that. Okay, so let's do that. play GTA so bad right now too. I love your work and dedication. I show people how to program all the time. Actually, if you find me on Discord and you go to the Unity community or the Unreal community or the Game Maker community, you can find me there. You know, I'm there all the time. Somebody the other day helped me, actually, out of all people. I didn't need help, but he did help me a lot. I just asked him a simple question, like, how would you go about doing this? And he pretty much figured it out for me.